Okay, so this will be probably the last flight, unless I decide to do some little experimentation afterwards. But this is the last flight for probably the weekend. And I'm here in Atlanta. Weather's okay. There's some rain in the area, and I'm flying the Zibo. And I just got XPRealistic. I was reading some articles on it, looking at some YouTube videos. So I'm a sucker. Maybe I am a sucker. Um, but I don't know. I do okay with what I get. So I've already got a flight plan. I got my fuel. I've got the pack or the payload loaded, and let's see. We are departing on 27 right. So that's over on the other side of the airport over here, I guess. And take a look at our airplane here. Looks like I've got a little halo of light right here. Thank you, Vulcan. Vulcan has some pretty interesting light things going on. But, you know, so far I've been pretty okay with it. I've been good. I will say that right now in Atlanta, my frame rates are 20, which is not the greatest. And I think they were better under the previous version. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. So, let's see what I mess up this time. Okay, there's that. It says ground power is available. Do I have it? Ground services, connect GPU. It's weird. It says it was available, and now it is. Okay. That's checked. We have 3 green lights. You can kill that. And gear handles confirmed. Down flaps are up. And we have 3 more green lights. And well, I'm not even gonna turn on to see how long it's gonna take. 1 minute because that's what I got it set to. All right. I hope this is my first flight in the Zibo in Vulcan. As many times as I've watched Star Trek, you'd think I'd know Vulcan by heart. So I flew this flight just might have been yesterday, might have been the day before. Okay, so and this is a real-world flight plan. Actually, this flight departs Atlanta in about an hour. The only difference is it's a 712 that's flying it instead of a 733, 738. Haunted. And you know, I enjoyed it a lot, and we can activate that. And let's put departure arrival. Bang to luck. And what did I say? 27 right. Execute that. And we are doing the Tegan 2. from Heaven, and we'll plan for the ILS to 3-2. From SRQ. Oh, back. Have a tab. Airport. KSRQ. Probably. Let's see. ILS 3-2. So we got. Oh, it's a course reversal. But I'll put it in. You know, it's almost certainly it's going to be a self-vector. And honestly, I should be on BATSIM, but I just do not have the confidence to fly on BATSIM with this airplane. I'll fly the TBM. It's not letting me execute. What's going on here? Never had this happen before. Legs page. Let's try this. No, it's not gonna let me do that either.
Let's get 583. Make a right turn here off the runway, or there's traffic on Mop on, or no delay down to Alpha 7. Okay, we'll make Alpha 7. We'll make it quick for you. 583.
Something has gone haywire. Can't clear, can't delete, can't erase. Well, this is new. I've never seen this happen before, and it's the first time flying the Zibo on Vulcan. So, maybe I shouldn't have chosen SRQ. Not letting me switch any of that stuff. I may have to reload the airplane, and that's dicey. Don't like doing that. And if I kill the power, okay. I'm not sure that that will take care of this. Those are on. Let's turn them off, then back on. Off, and then back on. And that ref. We will try one more time. Now I've seen this airplane fly with Vulcan. Maybe it just wanted me to practice. Go back and do that again. Just. Let's try it again. Luck on it. Best to find out, but you know, while you're still on the ground, I guess. Haunted. Heaven. Activate. Exec. Departure. Bang 2 to luck. 27 right. Is it right? Yeah. Exec activated. Good. Now. I'm a little scared here. Let's see what happens. Tegan 2. Heaven. Let's execute that. Now let's do the ILS to 3-2. Execute that. So I didn't put the fix in because I'm chicken. So there's that. Legs page and look at this thing. And plan. Step, step, step. Okay. So it intercepts at Zabquo. 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 And we should probably get, let's see this, arrival, Tegan 2. There are some altitudes. Let's go back over here. All those are expect altitudes, they're not required. Okay. Alright, so we're good. Except, let's go back to the beginning. Maintain 250 at Rivet. Why did I do that? Airport. Search. ATL. And bring up the airport. Go back. Bring up the departure. Bang 2. Bang 2 westbound. So we're going this way. And just 250 knots. That's it. 27 right. Climb 275 to intercept 287 to Snuffy, then along depicted route to Bang, maintain 250 at Rivet, 10,000 feet. So we're good there. Gross weight. Zero fuel weight. Reserves are 4, 5, 5.1, 5.1. And cost index is 31. Altitude is 370. Except cruise winds. Top of climb 279 at 50. 2.
Hello, American 958 is within our visual approach 25 left.
That's weird, that's already on. Plus, no, plus 6. 6C. And 1. Just use the current temperature. Take off. Flaps 5. What is the temperature out there? 26, so it's kind of warm. 80 something. So 145. Heading is 27 right, 275. Go this way. Altitude is 10,000. Okay, let's hit radio and let's make that 400.
America 163 is on the visual 25 left. America 163, I went 4012, run with 25 left, clear to land. 25 left, clear to land, America 163.
Okay. And let's see altimeter. Some storms north of here, some a little bit south of here too. 2306 altimeter is 3014. Okay. 3014, that's set. Flight director's on. That's set. Let's go ahead and turn that on.
707 golf turn left, Alpha 7 turn left on Alpha, taxi parking, that'll be...
By the way, let's get the transponder turned on.
That'll be landing to the left, 707 golf.
Tower American 670 visual, 25 left.
American 670 there, wind 24012, run with 25 left, clear to land.
25 left, clear to land.
So yeah, XPRealistic, we're going to see what that does. I had, what was the other thing? I had Real View or something like that, and I just thought I wanted to give this a try. There's a lot of people raving about it. I don't know. You know, I mean, I like having something cockpit shake and all that kind of stuff. And let's see, what is that? That's that. And so at some point I'm going to start using the friggin' checklist here.
163, exit Hotel 7, turn left on Hotel.
And
Left on Hotel, American 160, parking 40.
what did I say, 370? I can do this. There. Let's make sure. 370. And those are on. And I guess we can start the leg. That's on auto. Get these super fast loading passengers on. So yeah, I was looking around at KSRQ. It's a nice airport. And for its price, it's really good. RTO. Full flight. Let's see how many passengers we got here. 148. Uh, 20 minutes so far. Let's see if we can get this thing going. Yeah, so I took the Nimbus. I got the Nimbus Atlanta, not the Imagine Sim. Oh, thank you. Not the Imagine Sim. Okay, so that's on. Fastest flight attendants on the earth. Well, they're all fast on the Zibo. So I'm not sure what XPRealistic is going to... Okay. Let's see, how are we doing? Yeah, God, our frame rate sucks. Maybe it'll get better once I get away from this terminal. I had a guy tell me, wait 1 minute after your APU finishes starting, otherwise you run a risk of I don't know, burning it out or something. He told me what it was, I don't remember. So we could plan our taxi. We're turning out to the right, am I right?
Southwest 384, remain my frequency. Turn right at Juliet 1. Okay, be at Juliet. Hold short of runway 35 at Echo.
We are here, we're going right to 27 right. So go out here on 3S, go out to Lima, and then to Lima Alpha, I guess. Oh, that's come alive too. Good old things. 3S space Lima space all the way to the end. Oh, CG takeoff speeds clear 145. That's right, 24 to 4.69. I wasn't quite done. Tower 27 right is 123.85. And then, well, we'll get the departure frequency after we get there, I guess. Well, I can put it in now. I can put it on COM2. Departure 27 right, 125.65. Then all I got to do is hit COM2 there and we'll be all set. Ugh. Okay, that's been long enough. Home, ground service, GPU disconnect, better pushback, pre-plan. That guy was sitting there last time. Got a friggin' shadow. Sitting there with infinite fuel, no doubt. I'm gonna give him some room and go around him.
All right, Captain, got the directions. Let me know through the menu when you're ready. Great news, Captain, your tow's coming.
Yep, experimental flight mode. Otherwise I just forget to turn it back on. "19 frames. I hope it gets better when we get out there.
All right, looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
I don't know if it will or not. Looking over there, it's 18. It's not horribly tough on frames. And by the way, this is the default XPRealistic setting for the Zibo. I haven't done anything to it at all. Well, I did shut down the ambient, or turn down the ambient wind some because it sounded like there was a hurricane out there, and it was a 3-knot variable wind, so yeah.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Tow's connected, bypass pins inserted. Go and kill the parking brake when you're ready to go. Here comes the pushback. Light them up.
And as is my habit, I tend to start 2 first. So this is a nice flight, relatively short flight, takes about an hour, 25. Still sitting there. Guess he's waiting for a parking spot since yesterday. So I'm curious how it'll handle, well, we'll hear what it sounds like when it's rolling on the taxiway. I have had airplanes where the sound of it rolling on the taxiway was pretty flippin' amazing. So it's got some tall, you know, some tall shoes to fill or whatever, some shoes to fill. It's got some metaphors to mix. There we go. Let's see, pitot heat on. Generators on. It's off. And the collision lights on.
Just about done here. Go ahead and set your parking brake. And we're disconnecting the tow. Give me just a moment.
Okay. Let's see, put these on continuous. That is set. Flaps are RTO. Guess I can put the flaps down. Oops. Trim is set 4.69. I wonder why this number is so precise, and yet, you know, you have to take a guess here, right?
And we're disconnected. Signal and pin on the left. Take it easy and have a safe flight.
Tower 671 Whiskey Mike, 2500 with you on the visual for 317. 671 Whiskey Mike, Miller Tower, descending discretion around 317 clear to land.
Oh, there you go.
Discretion and clear to land 317.
All right, let's check those flight controls. System, left, right, forward.
Southwest 810, northerly on the road, turn right heading 110 over my 317 clear.
They're good. Flaps are set to 5. And we are all set. Taxi light.
Southbound Whiskey Mike, right train left on runway 4 left, if you got it. Cross stream 1 left, then ground point 65, good day. Whiskey Mike, look up.
It's stuck. I've seen this. There it goes.
Southwest 1254, runway tower, runway 317, line up and wait, and then up to the runway section. Line up and wait, 317, southwest.
I got the Zibo for a discount, so the brakes stick. It's free, but you know. That light is following me. It's like God. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, ever. Could be a good sign. So yeah, those creaking sounds is XPRealistic. I've never heard those before. That or the stewardesses are upset about something. Stewards, I think there's one guy there too, because I heard his voice on the PA. Speaking of PA, welcome. So we're taking off, let's make sure we get the right taxi route here. We're taking off to the west. So west is that way, so I want to go left here.
Flight 2134, taxi Mike, Quebec, signature remains this frequency. Mike, Quebec remains this frequency, Angel Flight 2134,
Let's just make sure. Go left to 27 right.
1650 traffic 2 mile off to the crossing runway, wind 340 down on runway 28 cliff takeoff. Takeoff to the southwest 60.
So I've got mixed feelings about XPRealistic, or at least some of the stuff it does. Not all of it, obviously, but some of the stuff it does. Some of this stuff I feel like is the responsibility of the airplane developer, but I guess it fills the gaps when they don't. And you can shut it off when and if they ever do. I'll be curious to see if and when it tries to do anything for the TBM. I don't know. And I will be curious to see if I get that kind of effect. I flew in Vulcan yesterday and parted today, and I didn't have this happen where I was sort of surrounded with a halo with those. Gosh, it feels like I'm speeding. It does feel like, I mean, it makes it feel like more of an airplane because, you know, they have all kinds of squeaky things. Got my throttle back.
Get 1519. Outside breath for 31 left. 33 left. 1519 tower traffic on the Bronx Cross, runway prior to your arrival. Wind 330 at 15, gusting 20. Runway 33 left. Clear to land 43 left, American 1519.
I mean, this could be a Zibo thing here, and you know, I haven't updated my Zibo in 6 months, maybe 3 months. So maybe I need to do that. Maybe they've tightened the bolts in that one. Config checked. Flaps 5. Expected. Green light. Stab trim is 4.68. 4.68 is roughly set. Takeoff briefing complete. Cabin secure. Where am I going? I'm going to stop here. I don't know if there's a hold short line up ahead or not. Okay. So takeoff checklist below the line. MCP is set, heading 275, altitude 10,000 feet. Flight directors are on. Transponder, no, TARA. Let's see, let's swap the frequency. Okay, so now we're set for that. And so, let's see, we're clear for takeoff, so we need landing lights. With the radar, transponder is set. And wing light. And we'll use auto throttle. And I believe we can use L now.
Have a good flight.
Thank you. We're good.
Number 4152 channel, wind 3007, runway 25, line up that way. Runway 25, clear for takeoff.
Man, this thing sounds like it's coming apart. You're up.
1000.
Command A and bug up. Level change. We're going up a little, so let's do flaps 1. Flaps 2. I thought I did bug up. I must be dialing something else. And up. Flaps up, no lights, VNav. No. Pressurization looks good. And flaps are up, big. And how about we put that on map like it's supposed to be?
To go.
It's going up to 370. Landing lights off. Traffic. Rain over there. So yeah, we're supposed to land 3-2 coming in. The wind is favoring 3-2. That's what this is saying. And so will I try visual this time? Or just goof off and do the ILS? Visuals are harder for me. Temperature. +5. Standard. Guess we can do the after takeoff checklist, huh? Air conditioning pressure is checked. Engine start switches are continuous. Landing gears up and off. Auto brake is off. Flaps up. No lights. And altimeters are set. So it's windier now. I can hear more wind. Which, I mean, it kind of makes sense, except I'm wearing a headset. I think that's outside wind. Cockpit ambience. Random is okay. That's not this apparently. Airframe wind, maybe. Airport ambience is nice, a little. Some airports have their own ambience. Plates, slapping brakes, fair turbulence, cockpit ambience, engine start, engine vibration, drag, flaps lever, flaps stress, float splash, G-forces, gear drag, ground effect, ground roll, ground shaking, head anticipation, natural movements, over G reverse thrust, sneezing. I'm not sure I want that on. I sneeze enough. Speed, brake, drag, stall, buffet, stick shaker. Surface turbulence. Turbulence shaking. Windshield wind. There it is. I think that's better. It looks good down there. And as I say, I think they've done some work to these clouds. I'm not sure, and I've got some experiments that I can do to check. Got one in particular already set up that I've been using. We will see, maybe we will see. shut the seat belts off. One would think that would trigger an announcement. Something very comforting about that view. Hello. It makes it, you know, I don't know, maybe I've gotten turbulence as much before, but when you get the sound like that, of course you saw the wing flex happening. With the sound, it just adds to it. So I'm not complaining there. People that spend so much of their lives in the air. Gee, what messed up? Oh, I did the visual approach to whatever runway is opposite, 1-4 I guess it was, and didn't keep my throttle under control. I don't know. Do you fly the Zibo, Gene? I didn't have my throttle set high enough, and I ended up landing in the underrun, if you know what that is. It's got 1,000 feet of concrete that's before the runway, and ended up actually touching down there, which to me was an improvement over what I have been doing, which is to land long all the time. I always seem to land long, and so I kind of fixed that, but now I, trying to shut off the auto throttle. I've got to get better at this airplane. You do? Okay, yeah. I've got to get better. I mean, if I'm going to fly it on VATSIM, which is, I don't fly an airplane unless I intend to fly it on VATSIM, and yeah, so I've got to get better. Otherwise, I'd be flying tonight on VATSIM. But after that screw up, I wasn't going to do that. Not that they would care. Oh, throttle until 500 feet. Yeah, that's. It may be a little thing, but I've been, I was chatting with a real 737 pilot a few flights ago. You'll see it in my list of videos. The guy was giving me pointers on how to cut corners and make sure that VNAV was going to be able to handle it and do all this kind of stuff. And also on how to do a visual approach. So I've been doing more visual approaches, which is not, I typically do ILSs. That's what I've always pretty much done is ILSs. So now I've sort of set my determination on doing visual approaches, and I'm completely not used to it. Because the flights are long. Yeah, they can be. I tend to try to, I mean, if you look, I was looking today, and I saw a flight from Miami to Tampa on a 738. This is a 712 flight. Well, at least there was a 712, I don't know how to say it, 717/200. I'm a rated VFR pilot, that's all, with small airplanes, so like Cessnas, pipers, that sort of a thing. Not instrument. So I've got about maybe 10 hours of instruments, maybe not even that. I was working on it a long time ago and had to quit, which sucked because I was having a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. What do you fly? No instrument is either. Yeah. It's expensive. They didn't have a simulator where I was getting my instruments, so you had to do it all at flight time. And you know, the one thing I've always thought about the simulators is that they should have a, you know, like an instructor would put a sticky note over the attitude indicator or something, so you do a partial panel. And I've never seen that in a sim. Yeah, me neither. It's been 19 years, actually. Yeah, and it's gotten a lot more expensive. It's the gas. I mean, a dry airplane is still okay to rent, but man, you put the gas on it. It does. I have learned a lot. I love to fly in IMC. Especially, you know, I do a lot of that with GA. 17 for you. Yeah, 9/11 hit and I lost all desire to fly after that for years. FSX sort of rescued me from that. You know, all those AvSim guys and all those guys that kept pushing FSX. Lots of people badmouth it, but it was the only game in town back then, really. And then it just sat there like a slug. Nobody, I mean, they were trying to improve it, but there were so many limitations. In a few years, then I'm thinking to buy a plane. Wow. What are you thinking? What are you going to buy? These Atlanta windows. And so really there's no planning to do there unless a tail dragger, a big slug. They're fun. I've never flown a tail dragger. Well, you're in San Diego. Kind of crowded airspace down there. Notice there's a couple of airports that you can sneak out on the over near the city. You can sneak out. Well, actually, no, they're not near the city. They're west of the city. But you can sneak out underneath the Class B westbound towards the airport and then make a right turn and get out. Yeah, I bet you they're fun. But you're in San Diego, so it won't be that cold ever. Out east, it's not too bad. Gillespie, okay. East of the city. One time I set myself, when I was flying prepared, I decided that I was going to fly the Turbine Duke to every tower-controlled airport in California, which I did. And I remember two of them right there outside of San Diego, or east of San Diego. And I just sat there staring at and I was flying VFR. I was staring at this chart, trying to figure out a route to get out of there. It's VFR. Oh, I'm in North Carolina. So, it's hot here, but it's a wet hot, if you know what I mean. must be Brown, Montgomery. Nice area. You do what? Okay, so let me put my rigs on. 3, 2, fix, /4, /10. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ref. So if I was going to do a visual out here, well, it would be nice if I could put a fix right there. With the flaps 30 landing and it's on a break 2. Carolina's very nice. They do a lot of flights from San Diego to SFO, PDX, etc. Do you have flight beams PDX? Curious. San Diego is a strange airport. I like doing a flight from New York City to Miami. That's well, I don't know that I've done that from like LaGuardia or from JFK. I guess JFK. I don't have any New York airports, any third-party ones. See, I need to fix about 8 miles over this way. Oh, flight beams, KPDX. It's one of the most, if not the most, it's one of the most. Yeah, San Diego's landing downhill. That's right. It's what it feels like. And okay, and you know, there is a or Orbix has a. I've never gotten it, but they have a really nice San Diego. I had a different company, San Diego, but at least they would get rid of those power lines. I don't know if you have those power lines there at the approach end of San Diego. I've seen someone landing and they had to just go through them because they're just in a really horrible spot to land. But yeah, true story is, yes, I used to sit there and watch the airplanes come in and land when I was in boot camp, so now you know something about me. Let's see. Yeah, it's scenery. If you go to Flightbeam's website, it's flightbeam.net. I got it about 4 or 5 days ago, maybe 6, and flew from someplace up in Washington down there, and they've actually done a shopping center. Yeah, the power lines. They've actually put in a shopping center with a Staples and PetSmart and Best Buy and all of these shops, and it's right there as you're on final to the right-hand runway coming into from the west, from the east. It's landing west. Hollywood Marine. Yep, that's right. For a second there, I was thinking you were referring to some sort of a boat, but yes, that's me. But I used to lay there in the bunk and just watch the airplanes coming in. Couldn't take my eyes off of it. So let's do something here. Murdo. How far out am I? Or even better, I could use BRDGE. Oh, Murdo's right there. Let's bring up the ILS. This takes me to Murdo. I need a fix right here. Yes, I do. I use SimBrief. Trying to figure out how to put a fix, like right there, like right about there. So, you know, so I can try again on the visual. Oh, it's loading scenery or something here. Forecast. Speaking of SimBrief, now you got me thinking. Let's see, what's the temperature? Temperature is 30, so plus 15. 15 slash QNH 2997. Okay, so clear that to 9.97. Gonna kick my little butt here. There we go. And altitudes 231 at 31. 231 slash 31. Flight level 200,258 at 18. 258 slash 18. And at 10,347 at 4. 347 at 4. Can't you go to the IAF and use that? Yeah, I could use that. Hey, pilot guy, look what I'm in again. I was just telling Gene there that I'm trying to figure out how to do a visual to 3-2 here. I'm coming in this way on the downwind, and I haven't put a fix in yet, but I was gonna go here. Actually, no. I was gonna go here and go here and go here and go here and 3-2 and 4 miles and 3 degrees and execute that. And my star carries me out to here, but I was thinking I'd be cleared for the visual over here, so I'd turn directly to there. It might be cleared here. But I need a fix right here. So off the mass, huh? Been nice talking to you. Have a good night. I'm actually waving at you right now. Have a good night. Have fun at mass. So, go legs. Now I've got this vector. Select the point and then type -nm needed. So, let's see. So if I go step. So I could I do a 5-do plus say 5, or do I do Murdo minus 5? Is that what it is? So Murdo, select that, and then put a slash minus 5, like that. And then I could put that in before Murdo. Yep, that worked. And then I guess I could delete Murdo. I can go from here to here. Very cool. I was stumped. Doesn't take much, but I was stumped. Where's my frickin' descent point? When did that show up? There was no discontinuity there before. There's my descent point there. So, yep, you'll be happy to know that today I managed to actually turn on my APU before I disconnected the GPU. And yesterday, I flew this route. I landed runway 14. I did all the things that we talked about the previous day, made all my notes, and did all those things and did everything right, except I screwed up on the landing and landed probably 100 feet into the underrun. Everything went pretty okay. But I'm better than I was. And it was real tempting to try that sim tonight, but after that screw up, I was like, you know, what else am I going to screw up? It wasn't so much that I did that, it was that I was a little behind the airplane. That's what the whole problem was. I was a little behind the airplane, and being a little behind the airplane when you're trying to fly online with a bunch of other pilots, looking for traffic, doing all those things, it's easy for me to get swamped. Yeah, you've never done that, I know. Not in the real world. Certainly, you know, with all your experience. But I did. Confess your sins one to another, right? But again, we got down, it was safe, and the good news was I didn't land long. I seem to have the opposite problem. So, I've got my flap speed in, I've got my auto brake set, I've got my route set in. Like magic, I happen to know that I'm going to be on the visual to 3.2, or I could request it, right? My flaps in. I've already put my winds into the descent page. My ISA temperature there is 30, so it's plus 15. Did all that. Did you fly today? There was a lot. Well, of course, you don't. I don't think you fly in the U.S., but there was a boatload of controllers last night and tonight on VATSIM. They're probably still there. I flew the TBM last night from Fort Myer to Jacksonville, which is just for an evening flight on VATSIM. Yeah, the East Coast is solidly locked. You know, there are controllers everywhere. Tell you, since they got the, I don't know if you ever flew on VATSIM before, they got the new radio sound thing, the codec. Lisboa and Madeira on VATSIM. Lisboa is in Portugal. I don't know where Madeira is. Find out. Madeira. Oh, it's in Portugal as well. Is it one of your company routes? Portuguese island. Oh, there it is. Wow, that's way down there. That's the one that's got the runway that's built up like a concrete slab or something. Okay. What is that? That's a haul. Like 2 hours or something? Oh, people probably want to eat. 12 miles. You're not getting anything to eat. Wait till you get down to Florida and get some coconuts. I've got a freeware, some island. Is it Madagascar? I think I've got a freeware of these, which I think French people like to come down here on vacation. Somewhere around here. I'm not sure if it's here. Maybe one of these little islands here. See flights going back and forth from France all the way down there. No? Well, you could at least get on, well, if you had some hard disk space, you could at least look at it from above. Of course, lately it's a less pleasant place, if you ask me. Yeah, maybe that's it. Reunion Island. I saw 777s going back and forth. I think somebody did one for Prepared, I think, and I was thinking, why? Then I checked it out. That's how I found out. Let's see, so there's no altitude restriction, but I can put 2,000 in. Okay. And then for my minimums, airport is 27, isn't it? Where's the airport? Not sure if it's on here or not. 27, so I could put 527 in the barrel. It's French Ireland, and there is a company flying between France and there. Yeah, seems like it's doing that a lot. Probably in August a lot, right? When they say they go on vacation a lot. That's weird. Somebody painted the water. Some tile. Who knows? It could be a. I installed Vulcan yesterday, and a couple of weird things happened. Nothing bad. You know, if the worst that happens is I get a tile like this from time to time, it's okay. The weird thing is my frame rate up high has gone down, but the smoothness overall and my frame rate down below hasn't gone down, and it's smoother overall. So yeah, that as well, flight to Madeira. Yeah. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think I've ever had it happen before. So, don't know. But overall, I would say Vulcan's, yeah, it's a good upgrade. I think the clouds are nicer. You know, these clouds, I don't know what they did, but there seems to be more variance in the clouds, in the cloud cover, and the look of the clouds. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that. I've got Active Sky, which all it does is manipulate X-plane clouds. But they just look better. And, you know, I asked myself, are you imagining it? I don't think so. Sorely needed an X-plane. I mean, it was something I used to always complain about, and all of a sudden I've stopped. Yeah, you don't have to fly with Vulcan if you choose not to. You have to turn it on if you download 11.5. I haven't looked at the change log. Yeah, and you know, with that ortho, as was the thing I used to really dislike about X-plane was the lack of ortho. And I had people explain to me in detail why you couldn't really get ortho in X-plane. That was one reason why I switched to X-plane. Well, Now see, I don't know if you can hear that, but I just put on the speed brakes. You know, because my speed was getting up. And I've installed XPRealistic, and now you can hear them. Can you hear the speed brakes from the cockpit in the real 737? Okay. You know, when this thing, you should have heard this thing taxiing and taking off. It sounded like a bucket of bolts. Is XPRealistic thing? Right here. It's got all this stuff that you can set. I just got this. And I turned down the windshield wind. Flaps. Not flaps. Speed brakes. Speed brake drag. Okay, so that's the sound, which I think I can turn down. So let me... Movement. I don't really see much movement. See, they've got a stall buffet here. Now let's preview this. I'm gonna try that. It's a little sound. But I don't see any movement. I don't see any vibration from it at all. Noise canceling and it's quiet. Okay, yeah. Mostly airplanes, it's vibrating. You only notice the plane moving if you deploy speed brakes abruptly, so we always deploy them smoothly. Okay. Okay. So I'll leave it there for now. But like I said, when this thing was taxiing, just taxiing, it sounded like a bucket of bolts. You'll see when I land. And you'll probably hear when the gear goes down. And I don't know if you're wearing headphones, but when the gear goes down. Sitting in the back, you feel a little bit of a rumble is what you feel. That looks really amazing. know what this brown crap is down here. It's fading is what it is. Oh, what did I do? What did I kick off? So it says that there's rain over here. Now that cloud looks possibly, yeah, that's been a big complaint of mine is that you couldn't even see the storms, so you couldn't fly around them. You don't know which ones are storm clouds. And so let's see, where did I see the altimeter is? Let's check it. That's St. Pete. 2997. Yeah, who knows? So the rain clouds are over there to my left. I don't know if I see them or not. Looks to me like this one. Maybe if I get a better look at it. Boy, that's pretty. I don't know what the older one looks like. Is it, you're talking about the old green one that was just all green, didn't have color? I think I've seen one that has, it's like dots is what it is, and the dots get denser the more dense the precipitation is. lights. Put different controls on the panel to use it. Okay, let's put once using saturated a lot. Okay. I don't think I've ever really mucked with them in this airplane. I've mucked with them in the TBM. I don't even know where they are. Used to be down here, weren't they? So that rain is 10 miles away. Over there. I have to keep the speed. Do you have to keep the speed brake on a lot above your transponder? This weather radar is automatic, so you don't have to really play with it. Okay. Right here. Okay. So I'm gonna put Deval at 185. Actually, that's not Deval, that must be Pivto. 185. Exec. See what that did to my thing. Speeding. My speed brake's all the way out. But I'm still on VNAV path. Yeah. Flaps 1 out to help. Level change just puts you on idle, doesn't it? It just makes, when you're in descent, it just keeps your engines at idle. Doesn't do anything else, right? Beautiful down there. It's idle and pitches down to the speed you set. Okay. Now I'm not planning any particular speed other than I want my speeds to be in line with my flaps at this point. So I'll go flaps 2. Yeah. Now when I turn base, I think I want to be flaps, well, flaps 5. Zoom in on this. So I'll put flaps 5 in shortly. So my frame rate here is 33. Okay. Something a real pilot doesn't have to ever think about. Unless he's simming. Now I adjusted that to 50. Oh, it's because I'm in the turn. I'll go flaps 5. Look at this thing go, dropping like a rocket.
2,500.
Okay, so I'm
1,000 to go.
sneaking up on that, so I'm going to set this down to 500. And let's get the gear down, flaps down, 15. Continuous, that, make a set, and speed brake, will arm, and go flaps 30, arm, flaps 30. Did this whole thing on automation.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Bridge altitude set.
Not yet, it's not. I guess I can set it. Nope, I guess not.
Approaching minimums.
shot.
400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
That was kind of a bounce.
Knots.
80? I've only got 20 feet left on the runway. Well, there is an overrun. I didn't know when to set the go-around altitude. Let's see, so let's take the reverse off. Yeah, there's a weird thing with this airplane. See if my mouse moves like this? I think I need to update the Zibo. I don't have the latest. Pitot heat. Let's see what else. Strobes are off. Runway lights are off. Taxi light is on. These are off. And let's see. That's off. Caution. Something's not happy. Oh, probably the pitot heat. Let's see, and what else? What else? What else? Stow the speed brake and flaps up. Thank you. Landing was long and hot. When you're at the top of the white bar that appears, which means you're 1,000 feet above the field, then just then you were thinking about it was the right moment to set it. I do not know how to make that go away. See what I mean about this thing sounding like it's rattling? When you are at the top of the white bar that appears, which means you're 1,000 feet above the field, just when you were thinking about it was the right moment to set it. Okay. So once you're down there, then you can go ahead and move it up and it won't stop your descent. Well, of course I was flying manual, I think. Okay, well, then I guess they got it right. But I am going to update this airplane. This is a nice airport to fly into for any airplane. You know, that's beautiful. This is a brand new airport. just need to remember all that stuff I did. Okay, the rattling is a little bit too much. I don't know how to turn it down. Ground roll. Sound taxi. Maybe that's better. We've got a bunch of sounds in here. Where am I going? Yeah, well, I got this 737 on a discount, so maybe that's why mine rattles. I'll go there. I will never forget the parking job I did in Sacramento. Turn the APU on. Nope. I can put the parking brake on though. Yeah, I like what they did, but you know, whenever somebody makes one of those sound things, everybody overdoes it. So you say wait 1 minute. So it just got there, so I'll wait 1 minute. Yeah, I need to practice those. How do you guys during your training do pattern work in the 738? I mean, did you have to put in a flight plan or something so you could get off the ground? Because this thing does not like to take off unless it has a flight plan. I know that. All right. Set that. Okay, so windshield heat off. Bleeds. And let's get the GPU connected. GPU connected, set chocks. So you can, you can't remove, you can't. Yeah, it won't let you do that. And so now we can do this. So now the APU can go off. I ran this whole thing dual bleed. Well, if that's the worst thing I did, I must be really attracted to that underrun, or that overrun there, because that's what I touched down on on my last flight, and that's what I was trying to get to in this flight. All right, wait a second. Let's turn those off and those off.
Skyway 2958, so maintain 4000, maintain 250 knots. 250 knots, then 4000.
Seatbelt sign off.
Wisconsin 3792, Roman 9 left.
Put in performance, then airport to airport, and selected the departure runway without any route or SID. Honestly, I didn't have to set up the airplane for that. The training captains did it. Okay. That makes sense. So you could just set something up, get off the ground, and then turn downwind. I assume you did that with instrument approaches and with just VFR pattern work. This is a frighteningly big airplane for VFR pattern work, even though I have seen bigger airplanes in VFR patterns before. I had a B-1 bomber in closed traffic for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. And I've had KC-135s, if you know what those are. It's a modified 702. And a B-52s in close traffic too. That's pretty scary stuff. Was it? Yeah, I guess you would. It says Pilot Guy 707. I was sitting there going, why does it say 707? Yeah, these were before they put the new engines on them. These were the old turbojets, not turbofans. They were scary taking off. Man, they were scary. Yeah. It's a nice airplane. Loaded up with fuel bladders, though. I mean, when they started upgrading those airplanes, that was a gift of God, is what that was. Those pilots, they probably walked around with their butt permanently puckered, because I mean, I watched one at Robbins Air Force Base. We had a runway with 12,000 feet long and 300 feet wide, and it was a hot day, like the temperatures were up in the 90s or something, and we had a few of them taking off, and one of them, I mean, he got to midfield, and we were like looking at each other and thinking, is this guy gonna make it? And he rolled to the end of the runway and actually rolled just barely off the end of the runway. 12,000 foot runway, rolled barely off the end of the runway, and and got it up. But we were like, oh, just exhaling. It was frightening. And less than 3 miles away from where he rotated, there was a civilian airport. So if he hadn't somehow pulled it out, there was, I mean, he would have just crashed at that other airport. Either it was a 5,000-foot runway or something. I could look it up. If you ever look at a map of KWRB, there's a airport KMCN that's right off the end of the runway, which is unbelievable because when a KC-135 or a C-130 or a B-52 goes overhead after taking off from our tower, I don't know how their tower could hear anything. It's very loud. KWRB. No, that's how I want to be. I'll go here. KWRB. Yep. This KMCN. And you can see it's 3 miles. And Macon is just this, you know, yeah, it was a 5,000 by 150-foot runway. It would have done nothing for that airplane loaded with fuel like he was. Yep, that happened.
Skyway 2958, turn left 160. 160, that's 160. Skyway 5045, 928 for 7 times. Skyway 645, runway 9 left. Skyway 5938, reduce speed to 180, maintain 180 knots, full Zena. 180 knots, Zena, 5938. Skyway 5167, turn left heading 180. Left heading 180, Skyway 5167. Skywest 2968, reduce speed to 170, maintain 170 knots, full Zena. 173 to Zena, Guys, 755, reduce speed to 170 to Zena. 170 knots, full Zena. Skyway 5045, maintain 4,000, maintain 250 knots. 250 knots, descend 4,000, yeah, 645.
Sorry, this guy was asking me about a review I did on his airport. So I was replying to him on Tampa. He just did. I don't know if you've seen the news. There's a new. Of course, you don't fly in the U.S., so you probably look at all these airports and go yada yada. Just another flipping airport.
1361, turn right in 220, descend to maintain 2000.
Right, 220 down to 2000.
I mean, some of the ones in Europe, I don't know, have any clue where they are. Well, a lot of them, you know, some of them I do. You know, the bigger ones I do, but the smaller ones I have no idea. Unless they're real pretty, and then I might pick them up. I've just got so much ortho to make yet. I might make a bunch tonight. Let's see.
170 on the speed, 240 on the heading, Delta.
Contact there, 2 miles southwest of Mark State, turn left heading 150. Left 150, 240 Delta.
I don't know where the second eye file is.
Approach Volunteer 3103, we have the airport in sight when it helps. 3103, clear visual, approach runway 33 left.
Yeah, thank you for dialing in again. That was help clarify the whole missed approach altitude thing, and let me know I was doing the right thing. That's appreciated. I've got some more to do. You know, I've got to get my landings firmer, and then once I get to where I'm fully ahead of the airplane, then I'll be joining you on VATSIM if you're still simming when you get back in your back in the air. But you get to go places that you don't get to fly in the real world. Anyway, have a good night. Have a good night.